In this video, we will introduce our combined ripstop and double pulley technique in arthroscopic suture bridge repair. After diagnostic arthroscopy, we could see a large and retracted tear involving the supraspinatus and infraspinatus tendon. The torn cuff tendon could be reduced to cover its anatomic footprint. After preparation of the bone bed, two triple-loaded suture anchors were inserted at the articular margin of the greater tuberosity. White suture limbs and one blue suture limb from the anterior anchor are passed through the anterior part of the supraspinatus, approximately 2 to 3 mm lateral to the musculotendinous junction. Similarly, two blue suture limbs and one white suture limb from the posterior anchor are passed through the posterior part of the supraspinatus. Two suture limb from the posterior anchor and one white suture limb from the anterior anchor are put out of the lateral cannula and tied outside with a static surgeon's knot. The suture limbs are cut above the knot, and the knot is delivered into the subacromial space and seated onto the rotator cuff by pulling on the opposite ends of the sutures. Then, the opposite ends of the blue suture from the anterior anchor and the white suture from the posterior anchor were shuttled through the supraspinatus tendon, just medial to the horizontal blue strand. Two black and white suture limbs from the posterior anchor were retrieved through the torn infraspinatus tendon. Two black and white suture limbs from the anterior anchor were retrieved through the anterior corner of the torn supraspinatus tendon. After all the suture limbs are allocated evenly in the rotator cuff tendon, the antident of the white suture from the anterior anchor and the antident of the blue suture from the posterior anchor are retrieved into the cannula in the lateral portal and tied with a static knot to accomplish a double matrix stitch, compressing the tendon down to the bony bed of the greater tuberosity. Suture limbs from the knot are then cut. Finally, all suture limbs in the rotator cuff tendon are put out of the lateral cannula and threaded through the eyelets of the lateral anchor. A pilot hole is opened by a punch on the center line of the rotator cuff tear on the lateral cortex of the greater tuberosity. After all the suture limbs are properly tensioned, the lateral row anchor is inserted. This is our arthroscopic suture bridge repair combining ripstop and double pulley technique. Thank you for your attention.